You kind of alluded to it, but you learned or you taught yourself how to produce, and this kind of ties in with saying I don't have another hobby. So you went all in for music.
Yeah.
What was that? I think it was around a year. What was that like? Was it a very lonely time for you?
Yeah, it definitely was lonely. I remember there was a few times where all my friends would go out and party or go somewhere on the weekend, and I'd like honestly just stay home. I remember New Year's last year, all my friends went out and I stayed home because I wanted to see how many songs I could write before the clock ticked over to 2018. Like I put myself through like loneliness, but I was like so determined that I gave 2017 my like all, and I like changed my whole life to like fit the lifestyle of I'm gonna work on music from 9 till 4:30, because I'm always someone that goes like 100% at stuff. So for me it was like, if this is what I want to do and I want to be a musician and get to see the world and do this as a career, then I have to like do everything I can, like just like go for it so hardcore that if it doesn't work out, then I can say, hey, like I actually tried my hardest. I actually fully went as hard as I can and it didn't work out.
In that process, was there a eureka moment or one of those turning points where you kind of felt, okay, now I've kind of got it. I know what I want to do, and then it's working.
I think like the best moment for me, and I remember like crying of happiness, was when I was like hustling to get like a management behind me to help me, because I had all this music, I had this idea, I had this drum that I built, Jeromo, I had this package and all these demos. I think it was when one of the first like management companies I looked up to, who I would have loved for them to manage me, listened to my demos and told me that they were amazing and that they would love to work with me. That was like a moment that I was like, because I had like my family and my friends tell me my music's good, but when it's coming from people in the actual music industry, then it's different. It's like another kind of ball game kind of feel. So it was like, wow, I just spent all this time in my bedroom and now it's starting to look like my dreams are coming true and I'm not just insane, and that I've just spent all this time in my bedroom thinking that I can be a musician full time. And it was kind of that like that push. It was kind of just that moment where I was like, oh my gosh, like this could actually happen. And I remember just crying. I remember like I got home and I like fully was just like fully crying of happiness, like, because I almost went insane in my bedroom. I have so many like video diaries of like me crying in my bedroom, being like, I'm making all this music and spending all this time on this, and I could release a song and then everyone could think it's really crappy. So yeah.
Well, I read about this where you actively pursued people from the industry to get them to help you in any way or form. So that and that relentless pursuit of making music as well. Do you know where that work ethic comes from?
I think my whole life I've kind of been like, if I want to do something, I'll like do everything to the death to like do it. But also in saying that, like I don't really have anything else like I want to do. Like I only want to be a musician. It's not like I don't have a backup plan. I don't like doing anything else. You can't actually physically force me to do anything else. Like I like make music, just that's what I do. Like some people might watch a series or Netflix or something in their spare time. I like sit at my piano or like sit on Logic Pro X and like try figure out some stuff or like try produce stuff. Like it's a little like just what I do. So I don't know how to do anything else. I'd suck at anything else. Like I'd be horrible at any other job.
Well, it's very good then. Now that there is some interest, you've been to South by Southwest, and you have a couple singles out. How do you proceed from where you are now? Because things are starting to move. So how do you, especially looking forward to perhaps an album, or where's your mind in terms of kind of the next step?
Next step, I just want to get like the best content out as possible, like the best music together, or go through my songs and work out, you know, what would be good to put out next, like in my songs that I have. Also, like, you know, it's important these days to have strong social media, so like putting my personality on social media so more people can like understand me as a musician and who I am. I want to play more live shows so more people can see me live and actually hear the other songs that I haven't released yet. I've only released 2 songs,
Right.
but if you come to a live show, then you get to hear like 8 songs. So I want to play more live shows. I want to come back to Europe definitely and play more shows around here. Go back to Australia, play more shows in my hometown. I just played my first ever shows in Australia. I'm actually only on my like 22nd show ever that I've played. So everything's so fresh. So it's still building. It's still like growing.
Was it weird being the vocal point all of a sudden? Because obviously you have some stage experience, but now everybody's looking at you.
Yeah, it was kind of, I remember my first show at South by Southwest, and I play the first song on drums, and the second song is I'm the front woman. And it was such a moment for me, like sitting on the drums and then taking that step off the kit and like taking the microphone with me. And it was like, I remember in my head, I was like, here we go. And it was like, all right, like I'm actually tearing up thinking about it because it's such an emotional moment for me. And yeah, it was like scary, but like it felt right. And there was like so many people looking at me, and I was like semi-terrified, but I rehearsed that show so much. Like I rehearsed it in my head while I was sleeping, like, so I rehearsed it in my brain so much that it wasn't going to be too scary. And then from that first show, everything was fine. Every other show ran smoothly, which is random for South by Southwest because it's normally like 15-minute changeovers. But I think sitting back on the drums and looking out, I was like taking notes on what the lead singers and everyone that I've played with, what they're doing. And I've seen so many bands, so I'm just like watching like the lead singer and, you know, how they interact with the crowd and all that stuff. So I was taking notes the whole time.
Very good. Final question then. You mentioned that, well, you only have 2 songs out,
Yeah.
but you have a bunch more. What is it about you, I think, that people don't know yet, that about your music, that people haven't been able to figure out of those 2 songs? So if you have to kind of...
Out of those 2 songs, I reckon what people haven't seen yet is my more emotional side of my writing. If you come to a show, you can see the songs that are like way more emotional. Like I almost cry in some of them, like singing them. And I feel like with About You and Killing My Time, you haven't seen like the songs that I've written like crying. So like the more emotional side of my writing, which I'm really keen to release, because for me they're actually sometimes my favourite songs that I hold closest to my heart, is like the sad ones, because I was in a state where I was not good. I was like not okay, and I was upset, and I was going through a breakup, and I was lonely and all that, and then trying to put that into lyrics in a song, I think can be quite powerful, because a lot of people can relate to that kind of stuff.
I just thought of one more question.
Yeah.
So, is that typically the time that you write, when there is some emotion going on?
Yeah, if I'm like feeling really like low, or feeling any emotion a lot, like I'm super angry, or I'm super sad, or I'm super lonely, like the first thing I want to do is be near my piano. Like always. It makes me feel like comforted actually playing piano. It actually like makes me feel better, I think, in a way. And then sometimes I'll just play some chords and then I'll start singing melodies, and then somehow a song's come together, or bits of a song. Like I have lots of voice memos in my phone of like just like a verse or just a chorus or like a bridge idea, like little snippets of everything. So yeah.
That's interesting. So it's not the drums where you
For
go to.
for emotional songs, it always starts with piano for me, or if all I have is my guitar in a hotel room, then it's a guitar. But no, a lot of my songs actually don't start with the drums. Sometimes when I put a song together, producing it, like About You, the first thing I put down was that boss synth sound, and then the beat. So the beat normally comes for me like second or third. I'm yet to like write a song where I've just played a drum beat and then started singing a song. But that's something that I'd like to experiment with. Like I'd like to sit at my drums and be like, I'm gonna write a song from this drum throne. I'd like to see what I'd come up with. But yeah.
All right. Georgia, thank you very much
No
for your time.
worries.
Thank you.
Pleasure. That was awesome.